These are the notes for lesson 5.1, page 1. How do we use percents to describe change? Change can either be an increase or it could be a decrease. To find a percent of increase, what we need to do is take the amount of change and divide it by the original amount. So it's really a comparison between the change and the whole entire original amount. In example 1, this is about Amber, who got a raise and her hourly wage increased from $8 to $9.50. We want to figure out the percent of increase. So to find the amount of change, you subtract the greater value minus the lesser value. So $9.50 minus $8 would be $1.50. That's the amount of increase. So you take the amount of increase and you put it into our comparison, our ratio, into the numerator, and you divide it by the original amount. And the original amount is the $8. Then you do your division with your calculator, come up with the decimal, move the decimal point to make it a percent, and make sure you round off to whatever you're asked to round off to. In the next example, we're looking at the price of a pair of shoes. It went from $52 to $64. Let's find the percent of increase. So you subtract to find out it's a $12 increase. Take the 12 divided by the original cost, which is $52. You get your decimal, move the decimal point to make it a percent, round it off, and this time we're going to round off to the nearest whole percent, 23% increase in price. So to find a percent of decrease, it's a similar approach. So let's take a look at example 2 here. David moved from a house 89 miles away, closer to 51 miles away from his workplace. So you find out what the change was. So you subtract, you get 38 miles. Then you take the 38 miles and divide it by the original 89 miles. Get the decimal, move the decimal point, round off. Here we're rounding off to the nearest percentage. So he had a 43% decrease in miles traveled. He moved closer to where he worked. And now for the last examples, here number 4. To figure out the percent of decrease here, you subtract, you find out there's a 4 student decrease. So you take 4 divided by the original number of students, which was 16. 4 divided by 16 is 0.25, which is 25%. 25% decrease. Then number 5, Officer Brimberry wrote 16 tickets last week. If you would fill in, he wrote 3 tickets this week, and he decreased the number of tickets by 13. So you take the 13 divided by the original number of 16, get your decimal, move the decimal point, round it off to nearest percentage. It's about an 81% decrease in tickets.